welcome again to The Actor's Vow. This is Denise Borraz Trepat, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here. How are you? I know I can't hear your answers, but actors' telepathy, trust me, that's a thing. This has been such a great week. It went by so fast. I don't know about you, but I've been very busy, but also had time to hang out with my friends and family and my boyfriend. So all great things. So before we start the episode this week, I want to introduce you to the Sunday spotlight of this week. And again, I don't think I can be very objective with this one. His name is Justin Armstrong, and we actually went to the same class. We studied acting at Adelphi University together, and he was so amazing. He's such a talented actor. I remember every time he performed a monologue, it was great. And we worked together many times being in the same class. But the performance with him that I remember the most is when we did Machinal together by Sophie Treadwell. And I played young woman, Helen, and he was my lover, Mr. Rowe. And he was just amazing. We had really great scenes. And he's also an amazing Shakespeare actor. And I just can't wait for you to read his interview. I mean, he's going to be talking about how the arts can be a tool to change society and make it better, and how powerful the arts are, and how he is using his acting career as that, and the importance of diversity in the arts. He's such a trained actor. I mean, he's also studied overseas at Lambda, and he's performed after graduating in Shakespeare in the Park in New York and several other productions in the city. So you cannot miss this one. It's going to be really amazing. If you want to find Justin before this Sunday, he has an Instagram account. His handle is @kidarmstrong57. That's KIDARMSTRONG57. Why should actors study acting? I love this question. And I'm just fascinated by the amount of people who ask this question, and by the amount of so-called actors that even question this. This is crazy. There's no other profession that you would question that. Like, do you ask a doctor, why should a doctor study medicine? And even what is worse, this is the only art in which this question arises. Like, you don't ask a ballerina why she's studying technique. I don't know why, but it seems like it is assumed that because you've seen many movies and you've seen acting growing up, and because acting is a big part of our lives, that, you know, you watch TV, you watch movies, that's something that we grow up with. And people think that just by seeing it, you can do it. And that is such a misconception. That is like saying that because you listen to all Mozart's 600 pieces, you know how to write an opera. Like, stop it. There's no way. It sounds so absurd said this way, right? So why doesn't it sound absurd to say that an actor has to study acting? I mean, it is said that it takes 10,000 hours to master something. Think about it. How many hours have you spent acting? How many hours have you spent studying acting? And if it's less than 10,000, get to it. And if it's 10,000 or more, keep going. The studying never ends, trust me. 10,000 hours, I say that's more. As an actor, you should never be done learning. That is something I believe in general. You should never be done learning as a person, as an individual, in whatever career you are in. But as an actor, it shouldn't be less. You must take every single opportunity that you have in life as a learning experience in your craft. I mean, you can think of acting as your job being a professional experiencer, because what you do is take all the experiences in life from every human, all the details, and put it into a stage, a screen, whatever it is, and share those experiences. And every experience you have in your own life is something you can put in your toolbox. Everything that you experience every day, positive, negative, stressful, whatever it is, can be used for your craft. And that's such a beautiful thing of what we do. I don't think many professions can say that. You know, a friend talking to you, and you can see their emotions, and you can see how they are talking to you, and the gestures they're doing, and the way they're explaining what they're explaining, or even when you go through your own pain and how that feels and how you deal with it, or a nightmare, or even observing a child. You can sit down and observe a child for hours, and it's going to be an experience that you can use at some point for some character. But it definitely goes beyond that. Why should an actor study acting? There's this very interesting thing that Picasso said, that is that he spent his whole life trying to learn how to draw like a child. And I think that's something that all artists have to do, and us actors have to do. And it's unlearning the blocks and walls that have been built when we have grown up, when we have become adults, that our parents, our teachers, society have put on us, that don't allow us to have the imagination, the emotions, the freedom of a child. When you were little, you played with costumes, and you played make-believe, and you played with dolls, and there were no inhibitions. It's so beautiful to see a child play. I think that's an exercise any actor could do. If you have a friend in the family, if you just happen to see a child on the street, just observe them and the pure freedom that is in them, because there's no fears. There is nothing holding them back, because they don't have preconceptions of what is right or what is wrong, or if they're gonna judge them or what they're gonna think of them. Everything is possible for them. And where is that now for you? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? And I can assure you, we all have lost it. And as an actor, it is your job to learn how to find that. So that has to be an essential part of your training, to find that freedom, because talent will only take you so far. You can be a very talented person, but to be able to be consistent, you have to study acting. You have to study the technique of it. That technique is what will make you unstoppable, what will make you reliable. One of my favorite quotes ever by Alan Rickman is that talent is an accident of genes and a responsibility. Being talented is amazing. It's a gift. And if you have that gift, you better be working on it. You can't just think that because you have that gift, things are going to work out. Because guess what? One day, it might be amazing. Your performance will be so incredible and will move everybody. But what happens when you have to repeat it 100 times, when you have to repeat it every day, sometimes twice a day? How can you assure that it will be as amazing as that one time? You can't. No matter how talented you are, you can't if you have no technique. Because one day you might be going through something personal. One day you don't know why, but it just doesn't work. You're just not feeling it. You can't just rely on I'm feeling it, because some days you just won't. And we see that in all kinds of arts. We see it in painting. I mean, painters have to learn technique. And the point of learning that technique in the end is to know the difference of what is a good accident and a bad accident, and be able to not have those accidents at all. I mean, you can have a good accident. You can do improv and one day something just happens and it's incredible. But with the technique, you know how to avoid, how to have the bad accidents. And ballerinas are the same. Why would acting be different? I mean, you don't question why a ballerina repeats every morning the same thing she's been repeating since she was 5 years old, and they don't question it. Ballerinas keep doing their exercises every single day for years, and they're the same. And you can think, why are they doing it? They already know how to do it. Yes, but that's the point. That's how you keep up with your technique. That's how you build skill and you become better. And that's something that I don't even think we actors understand. Like, let's be honest. Do you wake up every day and do your voice exercises? Do you wake up every day and do your stretches and everything that you were taught in school for warm-ups? And do you wake up every day and read a play? And do you wake up every day and prepare a monologue? Do you every day work on your craft? Let's be honest. And if the answer is no, you need to change that. I know it's such a huge misconception, but I can assure you that will make such a big difference. You need to be in control. You need to be in control of your craft, and you need to be in control of what you're doing. I mean, when inspiration strikes and you are out of control, you are in control because you have that technique to back you up. No matter what happens, no matter how wrong your day went, no matter how hard what you're experiencing in your life is, even if you have a blank on stage, if you have that technique, there's nothing to stop you. There's nothing that you should be scared of because you know you have that something to back you up. There is that innate freedom of mastering a technique. If you are basing your performances only on talent, you will always live in a little bubble of fear. You won't have the freedom. It will be unreliable. Your performance will be unreliable. There will be nothing that you can control. And you want to feel that control. You want to feel that once you can master that technique, you can do anything. And you know that you can go further than ever because no matter how wrong it can go and no matter how different it is and no matter how out of your comfort zone it is, you have that technique to back you up. And that's right there, and that's never going to leave you. Your talent, your emotions, your good luck will leave you. I assure you. At some point, it will not be there. Then it will come back. But your technique will always, always be there. I mean, acting is a craft. And as such, it needs to be studied. What other craft do you know that is not studied? And if that hasn't convinced you yet, the feeling of freedom and being in control of your performance and the fact that we are the only art that even ask ourselves, why should we study this? If you don't study acting, you will be limited to the same kind of roles. You will be so limited to always have the uncertainty, to ask yourself, am I going to be inspired today or not? And you don't want your performances to be an accident. Ivana Chubuk, one of my favorite contemporary acting teachers, says that if you're in it for the right reasons, you want to study acting and you want to put in the work. Of course, if you're in acting because it looks cool, because you want to be seen on the big screen or you want to make the money, you want to be successful, the technique won't probably matter to you. But if you're in acting for the craft of it and for the art of it, that is not even a question. She explains this story about Charlize Theron. And she was her student when Charlize Theron was nobody. I mean, she was not known. And she was always standing out in class. And the only reason why she was standing out in class is because she always asked for more work. Other classmates would be in class and they would do the work, they would barely do it, they would barely know their lines, or they would just do what they were asked for. But Charlize Theron would always ask for more and do more than what she had to do. Think back when you were in acting school, if you've gone to acting school. How many people in your class did the bare minimum? Well, Charlize Theron decided that she wanted to do all of it because she decided that acting was her passion. She decided that acting was what she wanted to pursue and what she was meant to be doing. And she made all the choices in class, and she always wanted to participate in class. And once she finally got her role on a film, because she had been working so hard on her technique and she had been pushing herself to uncomfortable moments, even when she got cast in an important film, she would spend the little time she had during lunch to go audit the classes. She could have been like, I don't need to go to class. I'm in a film now. Why do I need to keep going to class? Or, okay, I'll go back to class when my film is over because I have a 1 hour lunch break and I want to use it to relax. No. Charlize Theron would take that time of her own life that she had and went to study acting because she knew that she had to continue learning and she knew that acting was the thing she loved the most. So why wouldn't you want to dedicate all your energy to what you say you love so much? And when I say study acting, it doesn't mean go to college or go to an expensive studio. If you can afford it and that's the way you want to go with it, that's fine. I went to college for it. I've studied at studios, I've studied at academies, but I understand if either it's too expensive or that's just not how you learn. Maybe some people just don't like the college experience and that's totally okay. When I say study acting, there are so many ways to do it. I get messages and I hear actors say all the time, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, or I rather spend that time auditioning. Well, let me tell you something. Those are all excuses and it's going to backfire. You don't have the money? Okay. Well, we have something called internet and there's something called YouTube. That is free. And also we have books. If you don't have the money for books, you can go to the library. There are so many books about acting that will teach you so much. And guess what? If you want to go even further, like Charlize Theron did, there are many studios, I'm sure there are in New York City too, but I know about the ones in LA, that let you audit classes for free. And I'm talking about big studios with big names. Ivana Chubbuck lets you audit her class, Larry Moss, and there are many others. And you can find those resources also online. You will not be able to participate in the class, but you will be there listening to everything the coach has to say about the acting, the performances, and you'll be able to learn. You say you don't have time? That's bullshit. We all have time for whatever we want to make time for. Whatever time you're spending scrolling on social media, whatever time you're spending hanging out with friends, whatever time you're spending watching that movie, whatever time you're spending in the lunch break, you can use that time to learn. There's no excuses. And I'm not saying don't have your free time. Free time is important and free time is something you need to keep your healthy mindset and to be able to do all you have to do as an actor. And you need that for yourself. But there's no excuses. There is no time. And if you're saying that your time is better spent auditioning, I don't know how to say it again, but you're just so wrong. Yes, auditioning will teach you, but you are actually wasting the opportunity to be able to audition and do it the right way, because you might be going to the auditions and without a technique, some of them will go well, some of them will go wrong. And if you don't have that to back you up, even if you got cast, how do you know you will perform? And it might work for you the first time. Your audition might be great and you might get cast. And what happens then? You might not get cast again. If your performance is unreliable if you don't perform to the standards that you show in your audition, if you don't perform to the standards that you pretended to have, you will not be cast again. I don't think that's something that's worth risking. If you're an actor, if you're thinking about becoming an actor, read books, listen to podcasts, watch movies and observe the actors, watch TV shows, go to the theater, observe people, work on being self-aware. If you are thinking about becoming an actor and you are serious about it, you will find a way to train. Doesn't matter if you don't have money, it doesn't matter if you don't have time. Whatever the excuse is, it's an excuse. There are 1,000 ways to train nowadays. There are 1,000 ways to learn. And even after you've trained and you think that's enough, keep going. There is no great artist that has stopped learning, that has stopped training, that has stopped doing their vocal exercises or their dance technique exercises or whatever is needed for their craft. Acting is a craft and you need to treat it as that. You need to give it the respect and you need to honor it the way that it's deserved. This week, the play of the week is... Sorry, I just had to. It's Machinal by Sophie Treadwell. Just talking about it got me so excited. And it's not the play I read this week, but I just had to talk about it. Because just in case anybody doesn't know about it or anybody has not read it, you have to. It's so beautiful. It's such a dream role for any female actor. I mean, it was a dream role for me and I was so honored I got to be in it. This is a play that was written in 1920s and it's been on Broadway recently and it has so many beautiful study scenes. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's such a different play. I mean, it has a lot of monologues, very long monologues. It's not something I would use for auditions. It's very specific, but you know what I'm talking about when you read it. The characters are so complex and there's so much to play with. It's written in such a simple way, but at the same time so deep. And I think it's a play any actor should read. And if you have the opportunity to go watch it, I don't know if there are performances of it online, but definitely check it out. Try to find it. It's amazing. I mean, I can't be objective about it. It's one of my favorite roles I've ever played and one of the best productions I've ever been in. But Machinal by Sophie Treadwell. It's such a beautiful piece of female empowerment. How humans are just not one thing. How someone who kills someone else, like, okay, spoiler alert, she kills her husband. It's not just all black and white. That doesn't make her bad or makes him bad and her right or wrong. There's so much conflict. And that's what we love, right? That's what makes great acting and great stories, the conflict, the polarity. So this is the play of the week for this week. And this will be the episode. I kept it short this week. I am hoping to start bringing guests really, really soon. So I'm really excited about that. If you enjoyed the episode and you haven't yet, please do subscribe on iTunes. And I would love if you could leave a review and 5-star rating. I would be so grateful and that helps the podcast so much. And if you already don't, follow The Actors Vow on social media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's definitely more active on Instagram and Facebook. Always posting quotes and questions and conversation starters and always posting new things for you guys on the stories, also like performances that are going on and new things and things that you can be a part of and anything that helps us create community. And you feel free also to send me anything that you're in and you want me to post or anything that you want to share in the page. This is a platform open for all of you too. So thank you so much again for another week, and I will see you next Wednesday.